This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
We begin at 4 with breaking news in Jefferson County. Within the past 30 minutes, a man's body has been recovered from the Big River at Rockford Park. Emergency crews were called to the river around 1:30 this afternoon after the man went for a swim. We're told he went under the water and did not resurface. It took 2 hours for crews to locate and recover his body. This marks the 5th water rescue at the Big River at Rockford Park this year and the 6th drowning since 2014. On Sunday, a Valley Park woman drowned in the Big River at the St. Francis State Park, trying to help another person who is struggling in the water. 5 on your side will stay on top of this breaking story. Look for updates on air online at ksdk.com and on the 5 on your side app. Right now at 4, a St. Louis man who served 34 years in prison has his murder conviction overturned. However, at this hour, Christopher Dunn remains behind bars. Thanks for being here. I'm Kay Quinn. Brent Solomon is on assignment. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore filed the motion to vacate the 1990 guilty verdict, and now Dunn is waiting to be released. 5 on your side's Justina Coronel joins us from the newsroom after leaving a news conference today. Justina, why is Dunn still in prison?
Well, the Missouri Attorney General's office still believes he is guilty. In May, the Assistant Attorney General called Dunn the gunman and said he told lies. The Attorney General's office tells me that they are appealing the judge's decision, and this is why his release is being stalled. Now, just this week, the judge announced his decision to vacate the conviction. In May of 1990, 15-year-old Rico Rogers was shot and killed in North St. Louis City. At the time, a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old said they witnessed the shooting, but later recanted their statements. While the appeal process is in limbo, former Judge Booker Shaw tells me there is no provision under the law to appeal.
We understand that there may have been some request or order from the Attorney General's office requesting that he not be released. The judge has ordered his release. Judge Singheiser has ordered his release, and there is no basis for the Attorney General under the law to appeal.
So, Justina, what comes next?
Okay, since the Attorney General appealed the process, the Circuit Attorney's Office is working to see what legal steps are next, since these are uncharted waters. Now, they hope for a speedy decision by the courts once they learn and move forward.
All right, thank you, Justina. Now to continuing coverage of the police shooting that killed Sonia Massey. The Department of Justice is now investigating. That announcement coming one day after Illinois State Police released the body camera footage of the July 6th shooting. That footage shows the moments after 2 Sangamon County deputies responded to Massey's home. She called 911 because she thought an intruder had gotten inside. During their interaction, former Deputy Sean Grayson yelled at Massey as she moved a pot of boiling water. The 36-year-old mother of 2 said she was sorry and ducked. Grayson then fired 3 shots, hitting her once in the head, ultimately killing her. Hours ago, Massey's family demanded answers about how police responded to the shooting.
Not once was I told that the officer did it. They tried to make me believe that it was a neighbor or somebody that did it. And then the message got to the hospital that it was a self-inflicted injury. We don't understand how that message got passed out, especially from a sheriff department that's supposed to be professional, legitimate. How do you get that confused? If you that confused, you don't need that job, because that is one thing you cannot get confused.
Grayson has been charged with first-degree murder. He's currently in jail. He's also been fired from the Sheriff's Department. If you'd like to read more about the case, go to ksdk.com or download the free 5 on your side app. You can find it by searching KSDK in your phone's app store. Hours ago, Vice President Kamala Harris marked her first trip since President Biden endorsed her, visiting battleground Wisconsin today. Meanwhile, former President Trump and his new running mate sharpened their attacks on their new competitor. NBC's Alice Barr reports on the race to the White House.
Vice President Kamala Harris hitting the campaign trail for the first time in her quest for the nation's top job.
You all helped us win in 2020. And in 2024, we will win again.
Rallying in battleground Wisconsin as she quickly consolidates support to become her party's presidential nominee.
Because ours is a fight for the future. And it is a they fight for freedom.
The majority of pledged delegates to the Democratic National Convention have now endorsed the vice president. And today,
boy, oh boy, are we enthusiastic.
she earned the backing of the top Democrats in Congress.
Kamala Harris will fight for our future. I'm proud to strongly endorse Kamala Harris to be the 47th president of the United States of America.
At the same time, President Biden returning to the White House after recovering from COVID, preparing to address the nation tomorrow night about his decision to drop out of the race. He called in yesterday to an event with campaign staffers.
I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe.
Former President Trump and his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, shifting gears to sharpen their attacks against their new likely opponent.
Kamala Harris is a million times worse.
The former prosecutor making her case against the former president.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I promise you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
And introducing American voters to her vision for the future. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Right now, Missouri voters can start casting ballots for the primary election on August 6th. Starting today, voters can cast an absentee ballot without having to explain why. All you need is a photo ID. It could be your driver's license, passport, or military ID. You can vote absentee right up until Monday, August 5th. To find your nearest polling location, look for this story in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. And this week, the Missouri Republican gubernatorial candidates will meet on the debate stage. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, will moderate alongside Carol Daniel from 9 PBS and Caitlin Canute from the NBC station in Kansas City. Because 5 on Your Side will air President Biden's address to the nation tomorrow night, this debate will now air on Thursday night at 7 p.m. You can also watch it on the 5+ app. Right now, a strike is halting production at the General Motors plant in Wentzville. Nearly 500 Lear Seating Assembly employees walked off the job yesterday there, demanding safer conditions and better pay. Lear is responsible for making seats for several car models, including those at the Wentzville GM plant. 4,000 GM employees are out of work as a result. Union leaders met with Lear today. A Lear spokesperson says the company is committed to reaching an agreement that will benefit all parties. Back to school shopping is ramping up. The kids are groaning, but we've got tips that can help you save money coming up. The head of the Secret Service steps down 10 days after an assassination attempt on former President Trump. We outline what happens next.
It's a bit warm and buggy, and your weather impact forecast still features a few isolated showers and thunderstorms out there this afternoon. Most of it's quick hitting and not causing big problems. We'll see in a few minutes tell you what to expect for the rest of the week.